I was basically prepping an hour-long presentation or an hour-long lecture, but then I found out that I have an hour and a half, so I stopped killing darlings. That means we'll go a little over an hour. So keep that in mind. But I guess you all came even though it was an hour and a half. So I'll try my best. Before we start though, also I have 373 slides. I also want to give a trigger warning. I'm not saying this lightly. We will be talking about sex. We'll be talking about sexual abuse. No joke. We'll be talking about violence, murder. We'll be talking about at least one case of mutilation, suicide, and traumatic family relations. I mean, there will be jokes, right? Like, we'll have fun. But please be aware that these are sensitive subjects, and for you, if that is a thing for you, this is a warning for your own well-being, and I implore everyone in the audience that they do not judge if people want to leave now or during the presentation. All right, no judging. All right, welcome to my Neon Genesis Evangelion lecture. I adore this show. This is such a great show, and I'm going to convince you why it's the best. I watched it with my partner. I got together with my partner Rix. And when we watched it, they absolutely hated it. Whoa. This is my life partner you're booing. What the hell are you doing? Jeez. We watched it all the way from the beginning to the end. And I even tried to explain all of it. No joke, this is an actual thing I made while I was explaining it. However, it was a bit. I was at some point not actually writing words anymore. But they didn't like it. They also didn't like End of Evangelion. In fact, they hated End of Evangelion. But they don't watch a lot of anime in general. Like, what she watches is Attack on Titan, which, good show. Not the best. So of course, what I didn't do is make a whole hour-long lecture for Abunai just to prove the love of my life that I was right all along, right? Wrong, I did do that. Alright, so this is my presentation about why Neon Genesis Evangelion is the best anime ever. And my girlfriend is wrong! Alright, some of you might know me already. For those who don't know me, I am Douglas unable to half-ass it Pluilaar. You might know me from Weeb Lingo. But why can I be considered an expert on Evangelion? Okay, well, like you can see over here, this is from one of the Abunai opening movies. I did another one in 2016 called Abunai Beyond the Stars. Anyone remember this one? Awesome, I had directed this. I did other videos. I don't know, does anyone know Thunderbirds?
Thunderbirds are go.
Is that a thing that people know? Oh, good. This guy, Hideaki Anno, took a lot of influences from Jerry Anderson, the maker of Thunderbirds. I made a video about that, which is really awesome. Also, I made a video after I watched the entire show without sound to find all these connections visually, as you can see. So I think that's why I can probably talk to, I have something to say about the show. What we're going to do, there's some presentation contents. We're going to talk about the plot of NGE. We're going to talk about how NGE is told and how NGE ends. As you can see, I thought it would be 60 minutes, but this overtime chance, I think it's a little lower right now. I'm also not rushing through my slides. That's also very nice. Okay, I will accept absolutely no questions. Unless you somehow magically find your way into my presentation.
Hey man, what's up? Will you be talking about the rebuild films?
Will you be talking about the upcoming Evangelion anime?
Will you talk about Neon Genesis Evangelion?
You're going to talk about Evangelion
Will you be
girlfriend
talking
of
about
Leo?
talking about Evangelion and Arctic Adventures?
Hey babe, we talk about Attack on Titan?
Hey babe, no, I will only be talking about Neon Genesis Evangelion and the movie End of Evangelion.
Oh.
Well, never mind then.
Right? Look, NGE and EOE, End of Evangelion, are already interesting enough to talk an hour long, if not more. And I would also consider it to be the pinnacle of the franchise. I don't really care about the rebuild films. I don't know. I haven't seen or read anything else, unfortunately. So, Chapter 1, the plot of Evangelion. There's going to be a lot of important stuff. I will be taking 3 sources for my sources. These are the 3 things that are my sources. So the first one is just the show. I'm just taking information from the show. The second one is the Neon Genesis Evangelion 2 PlayStation 2 and PSP game. That has an unlockable section called the classified information, which has a lot of information that's also was written in cooperation with the makers. And NGE Proposal is the production booklet that was released 2 years before the show started airing. So, are you ready? We're gonna start. So, the first ancestral race. This was 4.6 billion years ago. The first ancestral race is a dying race, and to preserve their memory, they're sending out multiple seeds into the universe. Yes, laugh at the word seeds. They had 2 kinds of seeds, the white moon and the black moon. They're also sometimes called eggs because they contain life, right? Seeds, eggs, yeah, similar thing. All right, so the seed of life has perpetual energy generators, which are called S2 engines or super solenoid engines or cores. This will be on the test, please write it down. And the black moon has the seed of knowledge, which is the potential for scientific research or intelligence. So, the white moon with the seed of life carrying Adam arrives as intended, without major disaster, on Earth in the Antarctic. However, before Adam could awaken, the 14 angels, based on the seed of life, terror struck. The black moon also crashed violently with Earth for unknown reasons. It crashed violently into what later would be Hakone, Japan, carrying progenitor Lilith. And this is the first impact, or as it was originally known, the giant impact. And this impact was so giant that material of the explosion was yeeted into Earth orbit and created the moon. This is an actual thing that happened in our history. This is not how the dinosaurs died. That was impact 1.5. I just broke this chair. All right. So, every seed has a spare of Longinus. A spare of Longinus is used to eliminate the other. Say there's a case where 2 seeds land on Earth, the spare of Longinus will kill the other one, or its own one, depending on what happened. In this case, during the crash, the spare of Longinus of the black moon was destroyed, so the spare of Longinus of the white moon killed Adam. Or killed. The seed of life goes dormant. Then Lilith awakens. This is Lilith. And she spreads her LCL. That's this orange fluid. She spreads it all over. It's the orange primordial soup that becomes humanity and all the other creatures on Earth. And she also opens her chamber of guff, and life starts on Earth. And afterwards...
Hey, before you continue, what's a chamber of guff?
That is a very good question. Okay, so in Judaic lore, this is the place where unborn souls reside. So it might not even be a place. It's more like a dimension. Also, if someone corrects me on this, that would suck. Because I just read this online. Anyway, so in Evangelion, it's also the place where all the unborn souls reside until they are born, which is what happens here. So anyway, life starts on Earth. We fast forward to the 1950s, where an esoteric religious order called Seele, which is German for soul, and it's a powerful organization that covertly rules over human society. They even control the United Nations. They're basically the Illuminati. Anyway, in the 1950s, they find the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls are an actual human, they actually exist. They're found in caves in the northern shore of the Dead Sea, with all kinds of religious stuff. It's written by another religious cult, so not Seele, but another religious cult. And in the show, it's based on an alien manual left by the first ancestral race in the White Moon. And it shows you how to use the White Moon and the Spear of Longinus. Seele acquires them. They find the location of the White Moon buried under Antarctica. The White Moon has a big cavern, as you can see. That's important for later. And in 1999, a man named Rokubungi Gendo, is this guy, you might, oh, sorry. Yeah, boo, that's right. You might not recognize him, he doesn't have his beard yet. He meets Ikari Yui, and Ikari Yui is the daughter of an influential member of Seele, and that's kind of why Gendo wanted to meet her, but then they started loving each other and got married, and Gendo even changes his name to Ikari Gendo. They both joined the Katsuragi expedition. That's an expedition to the South Pole, where the White Moon is. And then they find Adam with a spear. You can see it over. Oh no, you can't. It's over there. There's a spear. It's like a boink, boink, boink. This beamer sucks. Yeah. Okay, try to, yeah, if you want to do that, then also my video feed will probably be very dark. We can try. Yeah, it's either one or the other. Would it help? If it doesn't help, we're going to put it back up. Doesn't help. No, it doesn't help. Turn it back up. Is this fine? Yeah, but my video. That's too much. That's too much. Too much. We've gone too far. Ah! See, and that's kind of how the first impact felt. All right, anyway, sorry. Spear of Longinus, Adam. They start messing with the spear. And then in the year 2000, on September 13, during what's called a contact experiment, DNA from one of the expedition crew came into contact with Adam and caused a chain reaction. Adam opens its chamber of guff, and the souls in there spread to awaken Adam's children, the angels. And everything else in the vicinity, including microorganisms, are eradicated by Adam. Apart from Misato Katsuragi. Woo! Oh dear. Misato is the only survivor saved by her father, as well as Gendo and Yui, who were not present for the experiment, probably because they knew something was going on. The big white giant burns himself out and regresses back to a small embryo after his attack. And his soul and his body are separated, and his soul, this might have happened, by the way, before Second Impact, I don't know. Unclear. His soul would later become Nagisa Kaoru. Is this? Yeah. You can see who it is. Right? Okay. So, for the public, this is a big thing, because they don't know what's happening, and all of a sudden the world is on fire. The United Nations, under rule of Seele, issues an official statement. There's a meteor strike, and they're calling it Second Impact.
What about Pen Pen?
What about Pen Pen? All right, anyway, okay. I'll tell you something about Pen Pen. Okay, so this impact was so big, it caused huge tsunamis. It caused the Earth's axis to shift, making it so that Japan is a never-ending summer, melting the ice caps, and that's why warm water penguins like Pen Pen became more prevalent. Yeah? All right. Love this audience. So 2 days after the explosion, skirmishes between refugees lead to a conflict, an India-Pakistan conflict, including nuclear weapons. 5 days later, an N-bomb was dropped on Tokyo. War raged around the Earth until February 14th, 2001, which is 154 days after second impact. The Valentine ceasefire is signed, and half the population of the Earth has died.
Wait, Valentine ceasefire? How could we possibly have known about all this? Sounds like you need to do a lot of digging to understand even the basic story.
I mean, okay, good point, Nikki. What you see in front of you, all this stuff, everything I just said is in this text. Or like there's a little bit down here as well, but you can't see it. But this whole story is told in the show. This is a sheet that you see before you that's like on screen for 10 seconds. And it's in episode 7, yes! The Jet Alone episode. There are no fillers in this show. This show was not based on a manga. So you kind of, like the classified information, you kind of have to see it like the currently disclosed information from Attack on Titan. It's kind of extra information, but I've collected it here for you guys to make it easier to understand. Also, it's not as important as you think. But
are we talking about Attack on Titan?
No, we're still talking about Evangelion. I'm sorry.
Well...
Babe! Okay. Anyway, Seele makes Gehirn. Gehirn is German for brains. It's an organization secretly funded by Seele. Yui works on Project E. Yes, this will all be on the test. This is in Hakone, Japan, which is secretly called the Atom Revival Project. And construction starts on New Tokyo 3, which is on top of the Lilith's Black Moon. So this is in Japan. This is the little cavern in the black. Did I say? Yeah, Black Moon. Yes, the Black Moon. And this is where the story takes place. This is New Tokyo 3, and this is also near Ashi Lake. That will also become a little important. The Geofront, so the entire organization, runs on the Magi system. And the Magi system is designed by Dr. Akagi Naoki using a personality transplant operating system. Stay with me. She infused the system with 3 aspects of Dr. Akagi herself. Melchior herself as a scientist, Balthasar herself as a mother, and Kaspar herself as a woman. Okay, so Seele keeps working on the Atom Revival Project, and they try to make Evangelions, big robots, to fight the angels, and they create them from Lilith and Adam. But there are many failures, and in the end they were able to create 2 Evangelions from Adam. Prototype Evangelion Unit 0, and production model Eva Unit 2. And from Lilith, they were able to create 1 Evangelion, likely explaining why Lilith's lower half was missing for most of the series. And that's, of course, Eva Unit 1. Yes. Recognizable by color palette alone. They continue using their experiments, using dive suits. You can see it over here. Kyoko Zeppelin Sohryu. This is Asuka's mother. You all know Asuka, I'm assuming. Oh dear Lord. You are in for something. She undergoes a contact experiment and only half of Kyoko's soul goes in. Oh my god, I did something bad. Hang on. I don't want to spoil anything. Don't want to, oh, oops. Sorry. She has a mental breakdown and commits suicide. So she's dead, unfortunately. Then Yui disappears into Unit 1 in front of Gendo and their son Shinji's eyes. And Yui is also considered dead. She's inside the Evangelion, but Gendo tells everyone that she's died, including little Shinji. Shinji is dumped with his teacher Gendo tries to bring Yui back, and as a result, he makes a lot of albino clones. So, with Lilith's Chamber of Guff empty, no souls left, only Lilith's soul was left, and Lilith's soul enters this albino clone, or one of them at least. Gendo names this kid the way Shinji would have been called if he were a girl, Rei. This is Rei 1. He introduces her to Akagi Naoki. Naoki's secretly having an affair with Gendo. That's like, I thought you loved your wife, man, but okay, sure. Rei 1 tells her that Gendo called her an old hag, and then Naoki strangles Rei 1 and also commits suicide in a fit of rage. Oh, sorry, the killing was in a fit of rage, not the suicide. Yeah, we joke, but this kind of sucks. But yeah, you know what? And then Nerf starts! All right. Nerve is, let me check my notes, German for nerve. All right. So, sorry, I felt we needed a little bit of happiness after so much devastation. Anyway, Gendo, of course, has more clones, so Rei 2 is born. Just before, this is several years later, this is 2015, yes, in the show. Just before Angel Sahil, the first angel to attack, is foretold to arrive, an activation test with Unit 0 goes wrong. Why are you laughing? Anyway, Rei is heavily injured. So Gendo has no other choice but to call upon Shinji. And that's where our episode starts. This is episode 1, finally. Okay, I'll go through this series very quickly, because else it'll be too much. But before we do, so this is a battle, right? Like there's a battle for the right of existence going on. We've got the angels here. The angels want to get Lilith and or Adam to start third impact, making sure all life resets on Earth, thus also ensuring that two seeds don't coexist on one planet. And afterwards, I'm sure they'll choose for themselves and reign over the planet as the first ones, because I mean they were the first ones. Let's be real. Gendo wants to defeat the angels and use Evangelion Unit 1 to start human instrumentality, which, pay attention, which will cause all humans to turn back to the orange primordial soup and join back together as one being, filling in for each other's flaws and needs. Because this guy, this is to him the only way he can join back together with his wife Yui, because she's in Evangelion Unit 1. Bastard. Seele, our third competitor, Seele wants to defeat the angels and use the Evangelions to start human instrumentality, but only make sure that the members of Seele get in and they become immortal that way. Okay, cool, let's go, start the story. The first three angels, Sahil, Samshel, and Ramiel, are defeated by Shinji in Unit 1, and the third one is defeated with the help of Rei in Unit 0. Gahil attacks the convoy that carries Eva Unit 2 and Asuka to Japan, but secretly the angel is looking for the embryo of Adam, which is carried by this is where the embryo is. This is triple agent Roji Kaji, and Adam, yeah, this will translate. Okay, cool. Adam is delivered to Gendo. Then Israfel attacks Tokyo 3, and Shinji and Asuka work together to defeat it, causing a big explosion, which will eventually create the second Lake Ashi. Told you that will be important. Nerf finds an angel, Sandalphon, but in a volcano. Asuka tries to capture it in Unit 2, but unfortunately has to kill it in, one of my favorite episodes, I think.
Ooh, isn't that the episode with the inflation fetish?
This is no longer my favorite episode. Anyway, Matariel and Sahakiel are defeated. The explosion of the last one creating the third Ashi Lake. Iruel and Leliel are defeated. And Gendo and Fuyutsuki... Yeah, okay, you can see the arrow. Like, look, I'm looking at this. I don't know what's happening with the contrast here, but you can see the arrow. So there's the Spear of Longinus is on that ship, and is traveling from the South Pole to Nerve. Rei takes the Spear of Longinus and stabs Lilith with it. Then Toji, one of Shinji's classmates, is chosen to also be an Eva pilot. Woo! His Eva, Unit 3, is then infected by an angel, Bardiel. Shinji is tasked to kill Unit 3, but he doesn't want to. But Gendo forces his Evangelion to kill him. So, kind of with Shinji's own hands, he kills Toji. Or, well, he would have been killed if King Records would have allowed it. But King Records was like, don't you ever kill those children. You're not allowed to kill those children. Else we will not give you the money to make this. So Toji loses his legs and is never seen again. The next angel, Zeruel, comes super close to Lilith, but Unit 1 goes berserk and eats Zeruel. And as a Lilith-based life form, so like Eva Unit 1 is a Lilith-based life form, she eats the S2 engine, the seed of life, from Zeruel, and joins it together with its own seed of knowledge, and becomes an ultimate being! Woo! Okay, so I was like, yeah, where's this going? Get to the point. Okay, Ariel attacks Unit 2, and Asuka mentally in one of the most disturbing episodes of anime I've ever seen. Rei takes the Spear of Longinus out of Lilith and yeets it at Ariel and destroys it. But the spear is lost in orbit, becoming unreachable. Aww. Oh my god, so much heart for the spear. The next angel, Army Cell, attacks Unit 0. And Army Cell... Oh, I'll let the video finish. Army Cell infects Rei and tries to resurrect all the previous angels through Unit 0. Rei inverts her AT field, trapping Army Cell inside, and then self-destructing. And New Tokyo 3 is destroyed. Aww. But... 1, 2, 3, 4! Oh no!
What about Pen Pen?
Mark, I swear to God. Luckily, Misato's apartment was on the city outskirts, so they're fine. What the real question is Rei 2 fine? No. But Lilith's soul is recovered from Rei 2's body and put into a new clone called Rei 3. Seele sends Nagisa Kaoru, the 5th children. I didn't explain what children are. Ignore that part, it's not important. Seele sends Nagisa Kaoru. He turns out to be the final angel, Tabris, and he attacks Nerve HQ. Lilith awakens in Rei. Kaoru becomes the one who gets closest to Lilith. And Shinji in Unit 1 needs 2 minutes and 5 seconds to decide to kill the one person he had truly formed a connection with, instead of dooming the entire race. And what did he choose? Get out! You homophobe! My Lord Almighty. Anyway, then the human instrumentality starts, and then we have a split. On the one hand, we have the broadcast episodes 25 and 26, and on the other hand, we have the End of Evangelion. And yes, this is a split. I'll get to that later. Let's put a huge pin in that. But yeah, that was basically all the backstories, the big robot fights, the big themes, the big events, big action, and honestly, isn't Evangelion just cool? I mean, look at it! At least I think it's pretty cool. All right, chapter 2. We're already in chapter 2. That's great. So how was Evangelion told?
40 minutes.
Shut up. What? No? Okay. How was Evangelion told? And what do I mean by that? How did the makers convey this story? So I'm going to stick to visuals at first. It's very densely packed with visual details. There's so much detail that all kind of, has a kind of intentionality to it. Like, these were people knowing what they were doing. I'm going to skip a little through this. There's so much world building. There's so much world building that someone even made an 80-minute analysis going through all the guns from Evangelion. 80 minutes! And then you have shots like this. This is one of my favorite shots. Look at this. It's a piece of paper. It's this says come. This says Ikari Gendo. Shut up. What is this? Weeb lingo? So everything is blacked out by the same marker that made come for shut up. Then it's crumpled up, torn apart. And then Shinji probably thought, well, maybe I kind of do want to have a purpose in my life. I don't know what else I'm going to be doing. And then he stitched it back together, and that's a whole story that's been told in like 2 seconds. I find that really incredible. There's also like a lot of stuff that's like this. It's like a whole what's it called? Piece of text that's on screen for a little bit, but it has so much detail, but it's in Japanese, and that's sometimes hard. So I'm gonna show you this joke, which is really nice. This is a lovely joke from episode 2. Shinji comes from the shower, is afraid of Pen. Mark, shut up. Then his nethers are being obscured by a can of beer. So Misato tries to grab the beer, and we're expecting to see his junk, right? And then no, behind it is a bottle of toothpicks. Right? Toothpicks. They're small. God damn. If you have to explain the joke. There's also small character details. Ritsuko, that's the daughter of Naoki. Akagi Naoki, yes, that one. She almost always wears lipstick, but not all the time. She only wears it. She only wears it when Gendo is around. When Gendo is not around, she even at work, she's wearing no lipstick at all. But when Gendo's there, can you see it actually? Yeah. It's very easy. I also like a lot of compositional details. So a composition is like, how is something framed? Like, as you can see here, we've got 2 rays. They're very distant from each other. They're almost to the edge of the screen. So there's so much emotional distance between them. Similar to, for example, this. You can see it. At the start of episode 4, Shinji and Misato are super distant from each other, and then at the end, while they're technically, look at this, technically they're like meters apart, like tens of meters, but in the composition they're way closer, and that means they're getting closer to each other. Or in this scene, this is a scene we scroll down, it's between Gendo and Shinji, and they're standing at Yui's grave, and as you can see, Shinji is in the dark. He doesn't know that Yui is in Evangelion Unit 1, and they're all both separated by this event, right? Like, Gendo is on this side, Shinji's on that side. Then Shinji stands up, and we have a kind of Dutch angle. That means it's a little crooked. It's called a Dutch angle, and they're basically at the same level. So he rises up to the same level as Gendo, and he asks, "You have no pictures of her?" Like, he's trying to find out more. But Gendo turns away and says there's none left. And then Shinji's fears are confirmed, and he also looks away. They're not looking eye to eye anymore. And the way it's framed, like, it informs what's happening in their head. And the show is full of this stuff. I'm going to show you one more scene. This is between Ritsuko and Misato. There's many conversations that happen in one screen where you can see both of the reactions, which is really nice. And in this one, Ritsuko is teasing Misato about dating Kaji again. But while Ritsuko is trying to have a warm, teasing conversation, when we cut back to Misato's side, Misato is clearly, truly bothered by something in their relationship with Kaji. Like, they're not even looking at the same spot. See, right? Like, they're looking at each other, kinda. But here they're looking away from each other. Also, we go over the 180-degree rule. Who knows about the 180-degree rule? Oh, that's great. Okay, I'm going to explain it anyway. So the 180-degree rule means that there's a line between people, and you put the cameras on one side, and you don't put them on the other side, because that's confusing. Like this scene, yeah, this works. Like shot, reverse shot, shot, reverse shot. That works. But if you do it, if you flip one of them, it becomes this. This is an incomprehensible mess. Where are we? What is happening? Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. What's happening? And with this scene, somehow they make it work. Like they know the rule and they know how to break it, and I find that really cool. There's also other cool compositional things, like this hand is hovering over Shinji as a threat that's looming over him. And here, when Shinji is forced to make a decision that he needs to go into the Evangelion, he's surrounded from both sides. There's nowhere to go but in front. Also this, if he doesn't go, he has blood on his hands. It's not that hard, guys. It's not that hard. Shinji flexing his hand is him being undecisive until he clenches them as he decides to act. This is a combination of those things. Yes, this is what the Evangelion is for, to kill people, to kill angels. Asuka is always pictured towering over everyone. Like here, when she's introduced, she changes the entire dynamic of the cast. Rei and Shinji are here framed in a chokehold because she's trying to take the lead on this. And even she stands on her own Evangelion, showing her dominance. But then later, when her sync rate plummets, she's pictured very small in relationship to the Evangelion. And then after she had that angel attack, the terrible angel attack, she's in quarantine because she's been psychologically attacked. She's unavailable. She's unreachable for anyone. And the emotional, like the caution tape, shows that. And her Evangelion slips away in front of her. And I also love this one. This is also in episode 1 when Shinji is asked to pilot the Eva. He doesn't want to. So basically, Gendo is like, okay, I'll just ask for Yutsuki. He's pictured so many times because he's a non-exclusive resource in Gendo's eyes. Like he can change him with Rei, and there's plenty of people in his class that have all lost their mothers. This is another story. I'm not going to go into that. So when he asks Fuyutsuki, there's only one of them. There's only one Fuyutsuki. But then later on in episode 19, he comes back, and now he wants to pilot the Eva, and he looks Gendo in the eye, and now the composition is flipped around on Gendo. Now being with multiple screens is a power, and Gendo can't ignore him. And there's also other like comparison things. Like this one's very obvious. Like these are different mornings. Some of them are iconic in this scene. We're supposed to try to compare these two. Gendo is very much. This is episode 5, I think. Never mind, doesn't matter. Gendo asks if she's okay, but Shinji is like really like, oh my god, like, really emotional about it. Some are a little more obscure, as you can see here. Like this is from episode 2 when Shinji wakes up in the hospital for the first time. This is episode 22. This is Rei 3 waking up in the hospital for the first time. They're having similar experiences. This one's one of my favorites because it's the launch of Eva Unit 1, and it's shown in contrast with Jet Alone. Eva Unit 1 crashes, Jet Alone succeeds, which makes Jet Alone a little more scary, other than his goofy f***ing face. And some of them are meant to convey a theme. The theme of water is the theme of unity, but I won't bore you with that. And there's also some comparisons that are downright horrible. Oh god, let's skip that one. This one's also super obscure. They use the exact same animation frames for the death of Kaoru, and then the first scene in End of Evangelion to make the viewers subconsciously remind them that Shinji is thinking of Kaoru's death. This one's also relatively easy. Gendo is bearing a cross.
If this show is so great, then why does it need to fall back onto Christian imagery without ever explaining why? Answer me this.
Okay, so that's my weird friend Wart. Love you, Bart. Is Bart here? Bastard. Okay, cool. He's talking about all the crosses, right? Like, there's more crosses, there's crucifixes, there's stigmata, and of course the term angels and Adam and Eva, right? Like that all sounds very Christian, but in fact there's a lot of Jewish names going on as well. All the angels have Hebrew names, I've named them before. There's iconography from Kabbalah, like the Tree of Emanations, the Tree of Life, and we've got Lilith. Look, like Eva, the Evangelion are made from Adam, which also sounds very vaguely Christian. But we also have Lilith, and Lilith is the first wife of Adam, according to Judaic lore. So even the name Lilin, which is the name for Lilith's children, is also the name for Lilith's children in Judaic lore. Also, fun fact, the first ever found mention of Lilith is found in the actual real-life Dead Sea Scrolls. So that's pretty cool. But to answer Wart's question, Christianity just isn't as prevalent in Japan as it is in here. So it's more or less window dressing. It's kind of like how American cinema Buddhism is depicted. So they're taking the elements, they're making it pretty, but it's not super duper accurate. Though I would say that Anno and his team did their best to make it work. So there's a little more there, I think, than, for example, with whatever this was. If I would really put a meaning to it, if you want me to do that, then I would say that Evangelion introduces a lot of different subjects that you can hang an identity on, and religion is one of those. So that could possibly be it. Anyway, I want to talk about economical storytelling, because what I like about Evangelion is that its storytelling is so economical. There's not a second wasted.
Economical storytelling? Do you mean by showing still frames for 2 minutes long because of budget costs?
Farouk, that's true. He's talking about these scenes. Okay, so these are 4 scenes that are very long. You probably didn't even realize this one because it has a lot of dialogue. But it's a 1 minute 20 scene that only has this picture. But the others are a little more infamous, especially this one and this one. Well, okay, so Evangelion is kind of art house. I don't know if you know what art house means, but it's a type of film or series that you have to kind of give yourself a little bit. You have to actively watch and not passively watch. So when you're seeing this, you should be activated and be like, what are they thinking? What's happening? What's going to happen? Why am I thinking about this? It's meant for you to put yourself in the shoes of these characters and think about what you would do. In this scene is really cool because it's the first time ever that Rei talks to Asuka instead of the other way around. Like as in like she starts the conversation rather than Asuka, who usually starts the conversation. That's pretty cool. Also, yes, it's also about budget, right? Like it's also about money saved. Because if they do this, they can spend a lot of money on other scenes and make that super elaborate. So it works on an artistic level, but also on an economical level. Also, the idea that Evangelion ran out of budget is not quite true. The last 2 episodes kind of seemed like a budget option, but episode 26 was always supposed to be like that. But because of the sarin gas terrorist attack, there was an episode that they made that was in production, and that episode was really similar to this terrorist attack. So they had to scrap the whole thing, and then for that they had to scrap kind of the plan for episode 25. And that's why episode 25 is also like that. And this is also why episode 24 looks so rough, which I really like. So what economical storytelling I was talking about is that not a scene, not a second is wasted telling the story about these children.
Sorry, Douglas. I have a question. Why do the Evangelions need to be piloted by children?
Oh, well, that is an interesting question. So, the in-universe explanation is basically goes that all 3 Evangelions have souls in them, and those souls need to be connected to the ones piloting it. And in the case of Yui and Kyoko, it was already that they were stuck inside the Evangelion, so their children would be a perfect fit. If it was specifically intended for them to be 14-year-olds, I don't know. In the case of Rei, it's Rei 1 who is in Unit 0. And Rei 2 is, of course, connecting with her on a metaphysical level. Let's see. That was the out-of-universe answer, but the meta answer is way more interesting. Evangelion's story is what's called a local world. It's a term that I didn't make up, but I got from another Evangelion analyst, and I stole it. But in storytelling, a non-local world exists regardless of the characters and their struggles. So you've got for example, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is great, like it's fine, like there's nothing wrong with a non-local world, but the characters are in service to the plot. So the plot happens, like there's a big, like some alien attacks or whatever, and the characters are basically kind of puzzle pieces to solve and conclude the plot. It's plot driven. And for Evangelion and many other shows, this is applicable to a lot of other things. The plot is in service to the characters. The whole world is written specifically to play on the characters. It's a stage set specifically for them. The world is made so that it specifically challenges the characters in certain ways that the characters were made for. Without the characters, this world would have no reason to exist. And I think that's nowhere more apparent as with Akagi, Ritsuko, and the Magi system. Ritsuko has to deal with her mother, with her mother's legacy, and she does that through the Magi, through how the Magi is parts of her mother's brain, like the woman, the scientist, the mother, and she has to deal with that. Sorry? No questions. But it's the same with many other aspects of the story. Like, all the angel fights are not necessarily created for the plot. I mean, yes, also, but they're also character development. Like the first one with Sahil is Shinji overcoming his fear. The pilot, of course, and in the battle with Shamshell, he lets his newfound friends in to feel the pain. Later on, Shinji is jealous of Gendo and Rei's relationship, so Ramiel, our favorite 1d8, is way too powerful and defeats him at first because he hasn't made his character development yet. So it's only after he talks to Rei and listens to her that they together defeat him, etc., etc. They are fighting angels, but not to save the world, but basically to kill their own demons. Heck, the AT field itself, right? Like the field that they use as protection, is the shield people put up to not get hurt, and is part of the hedgehog dilemma, which is a thing from the show. It's the psychological barrier that Shinji and the other characters are dealing with. Also, this looks kind of like, I don't know, whatever. It's probably nothing. And that's also how, during instrumentality, Rei lets everyone drop their own AT field to separate the body from the soul by showing them the person that they would want to be close with. For Shinji, that is Kaworu. So that's why this happens. But even the oppressive perpetual summer, right? Like I said, the axis changed of the earth. Even that is metaphorical for staying in the same psychological loops. It's everywhere. Therefore, the characters are the age that they are because for the story that's being told and for the audience, for the specific audience, it's the exact age they need to be. They're not a child anymore, but they're not an adult yet either, and they're trying to find a way into the world. And knowing all these details about plot points is a fun exercise, and it will grant you some insight in the story. But in the end, it's basically all about the characters and how the story challenges them specifically. And even the makers don't really care whether or not you understand it all. When Misato finds the truth behind all of Second Impact's secrets in End of Evangelion, the text is just a history of Gainax with some names changed. They don't care if you get it. But it's about the characters, so let's talk about the characters. But before we do that, it's time for Who's Pascal! Who is it? Is it gonna be Asuka? Is it gonna be Rei? Is it gonna be Misato? Who will be it? Oh.
何これ? 解析不能を示すコードナンバー.
Oh. Wait, sorry? I'm hearing they're all mentally too messed up. Wait, hang on. 2 of them are underage. 1 of them is at most 10 years old? What? You do understand that when Yui died, it was 2004, so that means in 2015, Rei cannot be more than 10 years old. Just wanted to mention that, in case that came up. Anyway, I do have the actual best girl here. And the actual best girl is, drumroll please. Ibuki Maya! Woo! Oh, and I see 2 people walking away. Anyway, guys, she's cute. Look at her, she's super cute. She's a bit of a nerd. She has a cat pillow. Goddamn. She's also definitely queer. Woo! And she doesn't want to kill people. That's a certified normal person. So that's why she's best girl.
What about Pen Pen?
Mark, Pen Pen is not a girl. But sure, Pen Pen is great. Pen Pen is based on the Japanese rescue penguin, Lala. When Lala also goes on a lot of backpacking excursions, he has sadly died. But he did have his own air-conditioned room. Yeah, for real. Based on this penguin. Super cool. Anyway, let's talk about Katsuragi Misato. All right. Katsuragi Misato always hated her dad because he was never around. She had to be a good girl to help her mother, but she grew to hate that. Then her father saved her during Second Impact. That must have been awkward. And after that, she swore vengeance on the angels for the death of her dad. Hey, look! She's also bearing a cross. That's fun. Being tired of being a good, pristine girl, she wanted to defile herself. Starting a relationship with someone she eventually realized was like her father. Turns out that she wants to have she just needs to have a sexual relationship with anyone, with someone, just anyone, just for her to make her feel safe. And then, in the end, just like her father, she sacrifices herself. So she might not have learned a lot there. Sorry.
Hey, Deadless.
Oh, what's up?
Oh, nothing. I'm just wondering if people are going to show up to Weeplingo tomorrow.
Oh. You have any questions for me?
No, I've never watched Evangelion. Anyway, bye.
Bye. Anyway. Oh yeah, remember this scene? Yeah? Sickos. Look at the shirt that Misato is wearing. It's a yellow shirt. All right. Asuka at some point steals it after coming from the bathroom. And it's clearly oversized for her, but she desperately wants to wear the clothes of adults. So she picks Misato's shirt from her to look more like an adult. She wears it 3 times, but the first 2 times she's both coming out of the shower wearing it and immediately asking about Misato, checking where she is, calling attention to the shirt. Also, I watched the End of Evangelion not too long ago again, and there was another scene that definitely paralleled all 3 of these scenes. So I'm pretty sure that this is an actual thing that's happening. She even wears the same shorts that resemble Misato's shorts. Look at this. I will say something about the fan service in this show. It's always when Shinji is around, and it's always to show that he has a huge boner for people. Super great. Anyway, Asuka's problem also stems from her parents. Her mother had a psychotic breakdown after the contact experiment. Her father was having an affair with one of her mother's doctors. Really awful. So she decides that she will prove to everyone that she can make it on her own. She wants to prove that she's in fact an adult, but still doesn't really know what that means. And it doesn't necessarily mean sex, Asuka, I'm sorry. She puts all her eggs in one basket, tying her whole identity and self-worth into being the best Eva pilot ever and wanting Kaji as a boyfriend. But the more those goals become harder to achieve and the more she spirals out of control, her self-worth plummets. She wants to be completely independent of others, but in trying to prove that to herself and others, she doesn't realize that she's fully dependent on the respect of others. It's sad. Anyway, Rei. Have you guys noticed how many times she's pictured with the moon? It's quite a lot. I'm here and here on the floor. That's because she's not, like, she is a person, but she's basically the reflection of someone else, namely Lilith and Yui. But also, if you remember how the moon was created, it was because of the black moon, which carried Lilith. So there's a connection there. And if you don't think that's explicit, it's like, look, this is on Lilith's face. I think it's quite explicit. I think they're intrinsically connected. Can you imagine having an identity crisis when she figures out that all she is, well, she looks like a 14-year-old, but she's not. And she's like a 14-year-old version of the wife of this guy. So, all right, we're gonna go in deep now. If you thought that before was deep, we're going in deep. Let's talk about Gendo's glasses for a second. It's very... That was a joke? Oh, that was a joke. It's very obviously, like, the reflection means that he's hiding something, right? We can't see his eyes, so he's hiding something. But there's more to it. After the accident with Rei before the first angel attack... Yeah, that one. Gendo tries to check on Rei and he burns his hands, but he also drops his glasses and his glasses break. This is symbolic for his vision getting cracked because Gendo loses sight of himself. Yeah, just stay with me. Rei takes the glasses home and for her it becomes a new symbol. It's one of connection because Gendo seems to really care about it. So she has it around for a long time. Then Shinji finds it. Shinji puts it on, and for the first time, he sees the world through Gendo's eyes. And what he sees is a blurred picture of Gendo's wife, naked, 14 years old. This kind of calls into question what Gendo's view is of Rei. What do you guys think his view is on Rei? Is he looking at Rei, the person, or is he looking at Yui? And is it love? Or is it lust? Does it feel like I'm looking into it too much? Oh, I didn't thought you would agree with me. Anyway, there's many creepy shots of Gendo looking at a naked Rei. So I think this is very explicit. Then after Rei 2 dies, Rei 3 now looks at the glasses and instead of seeing love, it reminds her of how replaceable she is. So the vision of Gendo as someone who loves her is blurred. You can see it's blurred. Now that she's starting to realize that it was never love and she will be discarded as soon as Gendo finds Yui. Speaking of discarded, Ritsuko and her mother are also discarded. And I just also want to make explicitly clear that Gendo is a terrible, terrible person. I know you know, but it's worse. I hope you guys didn't think this was fan service, right? This was an indication of how f***ed up this man is. I'm sorry, I'm only allowed to use the F word once during every presentation. I mean, he didn't even care when Rei's arm fell off. Just nothing from the guy. So Rei knows Gendo's appreciation for her isn't love, and she breaks the symbol, deciding her own path in End of Evangelion, and giving helm to human instrumentality to the trash prince himself, Ikari Shinji. Ikari Shinji is our audience surrogate. And, well, okay, we haven't had any cameos in a while, so someone do it. Someone ask the question. Ask it. You know the question I'm talking about. You know the question I'm talking about. No. No.
What about...
No. All right, if no one wants to ask it, I'll do it myself. Why is Shinji such a whiny bitch? What a wonderful question, you absolutely adorable person. Stop me if you've heard this one. Shinji has a shitty dad and a terrible mom who went to get cigarettes inside of an eldritch horror. His father remains, but he hates Shinji. And if you don't believe that, the manga makes it quite explicit. Can you read it? Yes. Ever since the moment you were born, I have envied you for taking Yui's love for yourself. Yeah, that's a good dad. Oh my God. I know we're all on the Gendo hate train, but goddamn. Okay, so Shinji has obvious abandonment issues, right? Like we can all feel that must be true. He needs to please others because he is convinced that he's a worthless person otherwise. Clearly, he wasn't able to please Gendo, so he does his best and he does everything he's told to do. He keeps practicing on his cello because no one told him to stop. He tears up his dad's invitation, but he does come. Stop it! I didn't plan that. He doesn't want to get in the Eva, but he's also an inherently good person, and he doesn't want others to suffer for him. So he gets in the Eva, and he keeps coming back. Yes, he runs away a lot, but he keeps coming back as well, because being an Evangelion and doing what he's told gives him value, but only if he's doing it well. If he is the person that people want him to be, he will be loved, and that means he has value. If he is not the person people want him to be, he will be hated, and that means he has no value. That intrinsically means that Shinji thinks they will hate the real him. If he's himself, he might not be doing what they want him to do. Thus, he hates himself as well because he feels that only when people give him value, he can have value. And that's called, that. So all Shinji does is wait for other people to give him happiness. He hides the real him because he hates himself, therefore nobody gets to see the real him, therefore he can never truly make connections, which just makes him hate himself even more, pushing everyone away. And when his dad finally gives him recognition for it, it's a small victory. But it can't last, as through the dummy system, Gendo asks Shinji to kill Toji. And he doesn't want to do that, even if it means he wants to please his father, but not like that. Also not like that. Gross. He doesn't want to do that. So will Shinji continue doing what he's told when that also requires killing human beings? Can he keep being a pilot if it means sacrificing his morals? Misato learns that Kaji is dead and closes herself off. Asuka's sync ratio drops and she becomes suicidal. Rei 2 dies and is replaced by Rei 3, as we know. 4 lakes. And Toji, Kensuke, and all his friends leave Shinji's life because their homes have been destroyed. And all that remains is Shinji, with nowhere to go, with no one to turn to. All the connections in his world are slowly degraded away until he finds Kaoru. Kaoru, yes, give him some love. He's in this for only 1 episode and a few short moments in the movie. Kaoru goes straight to completely appreciating Shinji. He skips all the steps and doesn't ask him to do anything. He just immediately shows affection. Showing explicitly that he starts from a position that Shinji is worth spending time with, they bond. But in the end, he's an angel, and Shinji is forced to kill him to save humanity anyway. And that's another choice he desperately doesn't want to make, but he has to. Shut up! Why are you still here? Anyway, we're back to the split. The original broadcast ending and the End of Evangelion movie. Which path will Shinji choose? How Evangelion ends. Final chapter.
Shouldn't you just skip the last 2 episodes of the show and immediately go to End of Evangelion?
Shouldn't you watch End of Evangelion first and the final 2 episodes afterwards?
I heard the 2 endings happen simultaneously.
I heard Evangelion was a bad show.
Thanks, babe. I love you. No, you're all wrong. You're all wrong. There is, you watch them in order of release, which is literally always the correct answer. With Star Wars, with everything, you watch it in order of release. That's how it was intended. Anyway, in the broadcast ending, we'll start there first. In the broadcast ending, instrumentality starts, and we get an experimental deep dive into all the characters' psyches, mostly using shots from previous episodes. Through dialogue with the thoughts of others, now they are merged in instrumentality, Shinji comes to the conclusion that he cannot keep finding value in something that is out of his control. He can't keep trying to find appreciation from other people and build his entire life around that. He will always be looking for some new external entity to give him value, and they won't be around forever, just like Kaoru. If he can't find reliable value from other people, then there's only one person that remains, and that is yourself. You have to convince yourself that you're worth something. Shinji is then shown a world where he isn't an Evangelion pilot, and he's still being appreciated just for being himself. A world like that is definitely possible, and there's a Shinji like that within the Shinji that we have followed. Shinji begins to realize that he can change. There is a truth within Shinji, based on what his small perspective of others have taught him, that he's bad, that nobody wants to know the real him, that he doesn't have any intrinsic value. But that truth can change. And slowly but surely, Shinji breaks free, and he stops instrumentality and starts a long road of self-discovery. Wow. Okay, we still have a little bit to go. Okay.
The show tries to tell us that human instrumentality is a bad thing. Well, I don't see why. Care to explain yourself?
So, yeah, he's got a point, right? Like human instrumentality, everyone merging together, filling in for each other's flaws. That basically means that Shinji doesn't have to do anything, right? Like, a human instrumentality just solves his problems. But the price of losing the boundaries of who you are as a person, that's a big price. It also means that you're giving up. It means oblivion of the self. And that, to me, sounds like it could be a metaphor for suicide. So, if we need to accept pain for the possibility of being loved, I think that's a good trade. And I can't think of a more important life lesson, like whoever you relate to, like Shinji, Asuka, Misato, or Rei, there's something there. It's an absolutely beautiful message, but it's like any art house movie, right? It might be a little bit of hard work, but to understand Evangelion, you have to meet it where it is.
But what if I don't want to?
$15 million Japanese citizens tuned in to watch the finale of Neon Genesis Evangelion. They didn't meet Evangelion where it was at. People mailed in. Some good messages, not all bad, but a lot of it was bad. And really for the first time through the internet as well, it's 1995, it's the first time the hate mail is a thing. And easy, you don't even have to use stamps. There's a lot of hate mail. There's, okay, sorry, hang on. Sorry, hang on. Sorry, making a point. Yes, there's a lot of hate mail, yeah. Oh, and death threats. There were definitely death threats. There's a lot of it. Much of which, and this is true, is describing how they would personally murder the director Hideaki Anno. They wanted more robot battles. They wanted more Asuka and Rei being sexy. They wanted more Seele lore. Anything but confronting themselves. And Hideaki Anno, while he poured everything of himself into this show. He was depressed. You all know that story probably. Everything that he was experiencing, he put that into this show. And he made that clear in many, many interviews. Can you imagine putting so much of yourself into a work only for it to be totally eviscerated? But everyone was asking them, oh, you gotta fix the ending, man. You gotta fix the ending. We want more boobs. We want more robots. We want more fights. We want more lore. And finally, they caved. And they made End of Evangelion. And with End of Evangelion, when it was in cinemas, there was also this book. This is a book that you could buy with your ticket. You had to pay money for it. And this book details how much the staff was kind of satisfied with the original ending, was kind of baffled that it needed another one. And they also said how much they didn't think this extra ending was necessary. And this book was approved by Gainax. Okay, so we're back. One more time. The alternate ending starts, and the first scene, Shinji masturbates to completion over Asuka's comatose body. Yeah. For real. Behind a locked door. Wasn't Shinji our audience surrogate? Is he still our audience surrogate? Also, I want to make sure, this is a crime, right? This is a felony. Yeah? Right, we're on the same boat. This is really bad. Seele has lost control over Gendo and attacks Nerve headquarters. Shinji gets into the robot. After Misato had to die for him because he wouldn't come along, Gendo shoots Ritsuko as she has outlived her purpose. Asuka is killed in her Eva after finding renewed strength, having realized that her mother is in the soul of Unit 2, which is wonderful, but it's the scene after is even worse than you think, and I'm not going to go into that right now. It's really that bad. Like, I don't want to emphasize how bad the damage of a spare of Longinus can be. Also, there's a shot of a woman that looks a lot like Ibuki Maya getting murdered. It's not her, but it definitely looks like her. Anyway, Rei defies Gendo, joins back up with the body of Lilith, and starts human instrumentality. Lilith takes the Black Moon out of the earth, geofront and all, and everyone melts into primordial ooze, and their souls return to the chamber of Guff. And human instrumentality starts. In instrumentality, Asuka says Shinji should stay away from her. He says, I know, but Asuka tells him he doesn't know anything. While Shinji fixates on Asuka's body, he asks how he could even know when Asuka never tells him anything. And Rei asks if he tried to understand. He says he did. Then Asuka tells him that she knows about the masturbation thing. Shinji asks whether girls can't just be nice to him, and they say they are nice to him. He calls them liars. He says that they want to keep everything ambiguous. They say that's because the truth will only hurt him. He's complaining about the friend zone, by the way. Like a whimpering child. Shinji asks Asuka to help him. He says only Asuka can help him. She said that's a lie. Anyone would do. Shinji is just asking her because he's afraid of everyone else. He doesn't even love himself. Shinji takes it well. He throws a tantrum and some chairs, shouting that Asuka needs to help him. Asuka says no. And Shinji strangles her. We see live action footage of the cinema audience with the text, "Do you feel good? This is what you wanted, right? You wanted your big robot fight, right? You got it. Even though it didn't add anything to the plot." And it ends with Asuka being torn apart. You wanted sexy Asuka and Rei, right? Was this not what you wanted? Did it help getting to know more about Seele? Or was knowing that they just wanted immortality not interesting enough? Do you feel good? This together with the hate mail, which is, I showed that earlier, it's all screenshots from this movie. It kind of paints a clear picture, right? I don't know how they could make it more explicit that End of Evangelion is a reaction of the creators to the reaction of the audience to the original TV show. Shinji passes the instrumentality exam, but just barely. He chooses for people to return or being allowed to return and risk getting hurt for a chance of love. Except for Rei. She's here. She's not allowed to join because she dies. People are allowed to return back to whatever is left of Earth if they want. And Shinji and Asuka both return. Yay! But Shinji isn't done.
Hey, what's up with all the strangling, Douglas? Isn't this supposed to be a happy end?
Roderick, a happy end? Does this look like a happy end? Shinji learning a lesson from instrumentality and then immediately regressing? Mr. I don't want to kill people Shinji strangling Asuka for having her own problems to deal with? All right, we've come to this scene, right? This is the final scene. And so many people have said something about this. He's just checking to see if she's alive. Or Shinji choked Asuka in order to feel the existence of another. Or copium for sure. Or how Asuka would somehow be pregnant from Shinji as a gift from Lilith to restart the human race as a new Adam and Eve. Shut the f*** up. Oh, but look! Shinji got what he wanted after all. A gentle touch. You know what? Let's do something that almost no other analyst of this scene has done. Let's look at this not from Shinji's point of view, but from Asuka's. Last time we saw Asuka, we saw her like this, with Shinji begging her to help him because she was the only one that could help him. Then she got strangled for not acquiescing. Then at the beach, the order of events goes, Shinji strangles Asuka, Asuka does nothing to resist and then gently strokes his cheek. As Shinji lets go and starts sobbing, and Asuka says, "How disgusting." So gang, let's play a game. Which of these 4 trauma responses do you think Asuka used to save herself from death after she had just been reborn again? Is it fight? Is it flight? Is it freeze? Is it fawn? Is it that she's trying to appease the one strangling her to save herself from dying again? Shinji gets what he wanted, a little affection, and then realizes that if he forces this feeling out of someone, it's a false happiness. And then he breaks down. It's really as simple as that. Same, Asuka. Same. So therefore, these endings couldn't be the same. This is a different Shinji. This Shinji did not masturbate to Asuka's comatose body. This one did. There's something I forgot to add to my lecture that I'm adding now, and that is that Shinji, throughout the show, rarely makes a decision based on what he wants. He's usually forced, or other people insist, like in episode 19, Kaji insists that he pilot the Eva because he's the only one who can. Shinji does choose, for example, not to kill whoever is in Unit 3, Toji, but he has to do it anyway. But it's his decision to not do that. In the end of the show, he also makes a decision, and that is to start loving himself. And in End of Evangelion, he also makes decisions that are not forced upon him, which are not great. On the left, we have a beautiful thesis that ends in a desperate plea to love yourself. On the other hand, we have directors and animators and voice actors at the top of their game giving you the finger as an audience. And it's awesome! End of Evangelion is an intervention. It might not be what you wanted, but it is what you needed. If trying to help struggling otaku with advice doesn't work, then the only thing you can do is use a sledgehammer to tell you what will happen if you don't change, how it will affect you, the world around you, and specifically, the women around you. I'm going to mention this specifically because I am unsure I was clear about this, but in the movie, the women get killed, shot, dismembered, abused because of the men in this movie. And as a viewer, you should feel bad about that. There's an 11-minute deleted scene that features live action footage of the women, of the voice actors. Part of this is in the movie, but there's an 11-minute deleted scene. And that scene gives them a perspective, more agency. There are no men in these scenes. They talk together, they talk about men. If I can give you homework, I would say go and find it. It's pretty great, and it's basically, actually, I think they shouldn't have deleted this, because it's a perspective that this movie desperately needed, but was cut. And that's because Hideaki Anno afterwards made Love and Pop, which is basically what this scene says, but then a whole movie. So probably he did because of that. This series and movie has a powerful message, one of the most meaningful in the history of anime as far as I'm concerned, and that's why I think Evangelion is the best anime ever.
Look, I understand what you're saying. It's just not a story for me. I understand the message perfectly well, but none of these characters interest me. They're all annoying to me, and then giving them a bad ending and torturing them a bunch, it just makes me dislike the story even more, even if it is technically well made.
Yeah. So the treatment of the female leads in the end, it's not great. The show is also kind of heteronormative, and maybe being intentionally obtuse kind of obfuscates that message. I still think it's the best show, but maybe despite all my points, it's just not something that clicks with everyone. And maybe that's okay.
Omedetou.
Omedetou?
Omedetou.
Omedetou. Omedetou.
Omedetou.
Omedetou.
Amaretto!
Big no! All right. Thank you for listening to my presentation.